In today's class, we are going to be reviewing how to find slope, both from a graph and from 2 points, as well as how to graph a line, a linear equation. Again, this is material from first semester that is pretty important for us to review going into the ECA. So first of all, let's talk about what slope is. Slope describes what we call the steepness of a line. There are different types of general slopes that we can have. Slope can be a negative number. It can be a positive number. Slope can be what we say is undefined, or slope can be 0. So what we have down here are a couple different types of graphs, and we are going to match each of these types of slopes to the graph that it matches. So for instance, when we have a line that is going up left to right, that has a positive slope. When your line goes up from left to the right. The next graph, your line goes down left to right. This line has a negative slope. In the third graph, we have a horizontal line. A horizontal line has a slope of 0. You could either write it out or just write the number as 0. And then finally, the last graph has a vertical line. The slope of a vertical line is undefined. All right, so first semester Algebra 1, you learned a couple different ways to find slope. So we are going to do, again, this is just a real brief review in practice. We will look at finding first slope from a graph. What we are going to do here is we are going to count what we say is rise over run. So what we're going to do is we are going to always start with the point on the left, and we are going to count first the rise, meaning up or down. So from this point, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4 units to get to the next point. So we use M for slope, our rise is 4, and then we count our run, which means going left or right. So from this point, we are going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So our run is 6, and then we simplify that to be 2 over 3. So from our graph, we count rise over run, and for this example, the slope is 2 over 3. Many of you also might remember that we have a formula to find slope if we are given 2 points, and you will definitely want this in your notes. We can find slope using 2 points with the formula y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So the 2 points that we are given, let's label x1, y1, and x2, y2. And then we're just going to simply plug in these numbers into this formula. So for example, on top I have y1 minus y2. So those numbers are going to be 3 minus 1. And then on the bottom, I do x1 minus x2. So those numbers are 0 minus 4. And then we simplify. So on top, 3 minus 1 is 2. On the bottom, 0 minus 4 is negative 4. 2 over negative 4 is negative 1/2. So our slope here is negative 1/2. The next thing that we are going to review is how to graph a line or a linear equation. There is one typo on here. I think I fixed it on your paper, but it's not fixed on mine. This should say the slope-intercept form of a line is y equals mx plus b. Again, that's the slope-intercept form of a line. That variable m represents our slope, and then b is our y-intercept. And you might remember that y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So we are going to do some practice just graphing lines. You can see that we have just a couple different steps here using both the y-intercept and then the slope to graph our lines. So in the first example, what we're going to do is even just identify our slope and y-intercept and then graph it. So in the first example, again, this is y equals m, so the number that is with x is m, which is your slope. So here our slope is 2, or 2 over 1. And then our y-intercept, our b value, is -4. Then what we are going to do to graph that, it says first, plot the y-intercept. Well, the y-intercept is our value of b. So on -4, I plot that point. And then we're told to use the slope to plot additional points. So from that y-intercept, I use my slope, 2 over 1. So that means I rise 2, I go up 2, and I run 1, go over 1. Up 1, 2, over 1. And then we graph our line. Next example, the number in front of x is your slope, so in this case 1/2. Your y-intercept would be -2. So if we look at graphing this, we always plot the y-intercept first. So at -2, plot your point, and then use your slope, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and then we graph our line. Last example. Number with x is your slope, so in this case, -4, which we would write as -4 over 1. Then the y-intercept is 3. Again, we always plot our y-intercept first, so it's up here at 3. And then my slope this time is negative, so I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1.